92.3, 96.7 The Beat right now, man. E.T. in the Galaxy partner, man. And this is my, actually not my first interview with someone in the political game, I guess. The first person I ever interviewed was Chief Turner. But, yes.
So that was the man that you...
But Congressman Hank Johnson, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, E.T. I hope he was not interviewing you.
No. He came in here because this is at a time when he was saying he was for the cameras on the bodies of the police officers.
Right.
So, I'm not sure how that... If that campaign is still going for him or not, but that's what he was saying at that time.
Yeah.
So I know how things change in the political game. That's why I'm not in it. I do radio.
I just didn't want you to have to take the fifth or anything like that.
I don't ever take the fifth, homie. But I will tell you this, though, man. I'm excited because you're going to have a lit situation this Friday, right?
Yeah, it's going to get lit over at Southwest DeKalb coming Friday.
So marijuana's legal?
Hey, well, I'm not taking it that far.
Oh, come on. So what we getting lit
maybe
about?
one day.
Maybe one day.
Hey,
you know what? You know what's so crazy, man? I think sometimes people forget that you get a title, and people forget that you're a person. You have your own things that you believe in and that you want. And people was like, man, you gonna ask him if it's about marijuana? I'm like, yeah, well, I'm from California, homie, so I'm definitely gonna ask him. You know what I mean? Because I know they got this. The oil's legal here.
Right, for medicinal use. Yeah, but that's one step in the right direction towards doing away with this war on drugs.
Right.
The war on drugs has been terrible for the African American community ever since it was declared. Marijuana, I'm not advocating for the use of marijuana, but I'll tell you that folks in my age bracket, we had to come through just like folks like you all are coming through. They had alcohol, drugs, marijuana, the whole gamut.
Right.
And it's been something that society and people have had to deal with forever. So it's time to take off the blinders and start looking at the reality of this. And so when we lock people up for having a joint in their pocket, give them a criminal record, and stigmatize them for the rest of their lives, it's not good for society.
Also, on top of that, you can correct me if I'm wrong. My math might be off here, but I'm going to say this. You can't make up 12 to 13% of the national population, but make up almost 60 to 65% of the jail system without being targeted.
Well, then you start to talk about this jail industrial complex that we have with the private prison system for profits. People make a lot of money off of people being locked up.
Right.
People going to work making, 67 cents an hour, making products in a prison that are then shipped to a retail outlet for sale to the people. Right. It's like a way of getting cheap labor.
Yes.
And, of course, this country...
And justifying it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so who is the country feasting on from a historical standpoint? It's been minorities. Black folk have been the primary minorities in this country since we were imported for slavery purposes, and then after that sharecropping, and after that always a scheme. But now it's the prison industrial complex, and it's also swallowing up our Latino brothers and sisters as well.
Very much so. But I wanted to kind of bring it up to you. I was having a conversation with some my interns as well, and I told them, I say I'm not a professional about the government game, but I like to think that in my mind, I always say whatever the presidency has done before the current presidency, you see the benefits of it now, but our current president kind of gets the credit for it. You know what I mean? I know we've been in a better situation as far as our economy.
Yeah, job growth,
and that's because of the Obama administration.
That's correct.
Now, with this new presidency and this the reality show that we're watching now, I mean, to me as a voter, I will always vote, even if I don't believe in it. And the reason is because I look at it like safe sex. She might not look like she has anything, but I'm going to put one on just in case because... and it's the same thing. I'm going to go vote just in case it does work. Yeah. Just in case the Electoral College doesn't come in and put somebody in there that we didn't vote for, like Trump.
Well, you're right about that. And it's important that people take that sense of responsibility to heart and make sure you go out, get registered to vote, and then when it comes time to vote, vote. Because when you vote, you put people in office, such as myself.
Right.
In my humble opinion, we need more people such as myself in office, or at least with the kind of mentality that I have, which is a heart for the people, as opposed to being in bed with the multinational corporations, trying to go along to get along so that those who have can continue to get rich and keep their foot on the necks of those who are trying to make it to the next level in this country. It's tough.
Do you really think that's possible in a capitalist society? I think there's benefits that everything here is for profit, right? You go to some other countries, you can go to a university and not have to pay anything. And it is what it is, you know what I mean? And that's cool. We have our benefits. We also have strikes against us. And I think that a lot of Americans don't want to say, oh, there's some things that are bad about our country. Maybe we should adopt some other things. Do you really think that we can balance the two in a capitalist society?
Yeah, I think so. I think people can be free to trade amongst themselves. I think capitalism is closest to freedom in terms of a ideal for an economic system. Mm-hmm. But when you have free market capitalism without any protections, without any rules and regulations that would level the playing field and create opportunity for prosperity for all people, regardless of whether or not you were born into your money or not. That's the kind of capitalism that I advocate for, one where government protects the weak from the strong and puts into place remedial measures for the weak to be able to catch up to the strong.
Yeah.
And so that's the basic dilemma that we fight today between Democrats and Republicans. Republicans are free market capitalists, no government involvement in the economy, no leveling of the playing field.
Which is a little bit ridiculous because
only the strong survive under that kind of a system.
No, because the strong will die as well. Just because you have to have regulations on my water. Like I don't want lead in my water; it leads to brain damage, dummy.
Well,
I don't want to have coal when this is always my thought. The coal people that do and mine coal for a living. Would it be cheaper just to kind of teach them the other? Because right now, there's more people that are there's more money and more people into cleaner sources of energy than there is in coal.
That's where the money is.
Right. So wouldn't it be better to sit there and say, okay, rather than just quit the coal industry and have you broke out here, because this is what you do now, to say, okay, we're going to teach you the process of the new age and you'll work in that.
Well, see, a conservative would want to keep things the way that they have always been. They would want to maintain coal as the source of energy production.
Regardless of how bad it is.
Regardless of how bad it is for our environment. And so that's conservatives. Progressives are people that want to move forward with new renewable energy, green, better for our environment, better economic opportunities. And so that's a basic fight that we have.
Right. Is it more important to people always come out and vote for the president? Would you say it's more important to vote for the people around the president than it is as or just as important to vote for the president as it is for congressmen and stuff? You've been in it since you're in
this
division?
is my 11th year.
Okay, so 2007.
Yes, so the legislative branch actually makes the laws.
Right.
And the president, the executive branch, carries out those laws.
Yeah.
So you want to have a strong president. You also want to have good people in the legislative branch who can formulate good policies that the president is forced to implement.
Right.
So it takes both branches, and then don't forget the court system, the federal court system under the U.S. Supreme Court is appointed by the president and affirmed or confirmed by the Senate. And so you want to have influence on who sits on the U.S. Supreme Court, who sits on the Court of Appeals, the federal district courts. Those are important because those judges rule over people's lives.
Now, I thought this was going to be talking about, we get lit. I thought, it was like a marijuana thing and everybody would be out there go roll up and smoke. That's what I thought you was bringing to us. I was mistaken.
Well, that's why everybody acted like I was the police when I came in.
I was like, bet, you know what I'm saying? Finally, someone's on our side in GA,
everybody
man.
kind of clammed up around here, when I walked in.
Dog,
You started calling me sir.
Yeah, man. I thought you was bringing on the wacky tobacco campaign, bro. Like, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about what's really going on for Friday with the lit.
What we really want to do is we got a lot of young people who are matriculating through high school.
They don't know what that word means.
You need to go ahead and look it up.
They don't know what that word means.
That's why we had that dictionary in place. When you hear something
that
you don't
sounds like
understand,
a rapper from the East Side.
Go ahead and look it up. But matriculate means to make your way through.
I know. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's an interesting word. It sounded good. Thought I would throw it in there.
That was good, bro. Put a little matriculation in the song.
That's right. That's right. But anyway, while our young people matriculate, sometimes they don't have their focus on what they really want to do in terms of an end game, because you go through high school, you get your high school diploma, and then what's next? And so it's wrong to start thinking about what's next when you get that high school diploma.
Right.
The day after you get it, you wake up after partying and then you start thinking, well, what's next? Well, Get Lit is to give our young people an opportunity to start planning on that future, start giving them some insight in terms of what they can do or what they even want to do to be able to advance beyond high school, because you definitely need to do more than just get that high school diploma. Everybody's not going to college, though. Some folks might want to go into a technical field.
Yeah, I didn't. I came straight to my career.
Like film and TV production, radio, TV, film, those kinds of things you can... Those kind of things, so you can get some advanced training on. I mean, a place like Georgia Piedmont Technical College right there in your backyard.
That's nice, though. That is dope.
And then in terms of funding for your educational pursuits, you may decide you want to go to college as opposed to trade school or technical school. You may need some financial help. And so things like scholarships, we'll be talking to our young people about. They'll have an opportunity to hear about what the resources that are available out there to help them in terms of scholarships. $26 million in Military Service Academy scholarships is what we have awarded during the past 11 years.
Wow.
In office. I mean, that's pretty substantial. The CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, offers scholarships through my office, and so people can apply for those. If you didn't know, then you can't get the scholarship.
And now when they apply for that, is there what's the web page that they go on to, or is there a number that they bug you at, like, hey, bro, try to get a scholarship?
Yeah. Well, folks are not calling anymore.
They go online, bro. So I'm saying, what's the site?
They can hit me at Twitter at Rep Hank Johnson.
To apply for the scholarship?
Well, hey, you can find out your information at Rep Hank Johnson. You can go to my Facebook page at Rep Hank Johnson, or you can go to the website hankjohnson.house.gov.
Okay.
And you can learn about the opportunities that are available out there. If you don't know, then you don't know.
There it is. I thought you was going to give me the Biggie line for a minute. I was like, oh, man, here it comes.
Well, hey, if you don't know, now you know.
Hey!
There you go.
Mr. Johnson, I just want to say thank you for coming by and dealing with my craziness sometimes, and being a cool human being at the same time. Maybe one day you could see it upon yourself to actually kick it with me. I'll pick you up.
Well, I thought that's what we was doing.
Well, no, we go to Magic City or something like that without the cameraman.
Oh, well, maybe not Magic. Maybe they got an affiliate out.
Well, they got an affiliate. They got Follies. We got Pink Pony. We got.
That's too close to the district. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no. This is you. You're on the east side. You in the cab, right?
No, I'm talking about west side of the country.
Oh, you want to go to the Blue Flame? Blue Flame, Hank Johnson. And E.T.
Bang it. Yeah.
There it is. Y'all got to keep it locked right here, man, in the galaxy with E.T. Cali, Mr. Hank Johnson, man. We get lit on Friday.
Yes, sir.